P.S. They shouldn't.
Have you guys watched the new season yet of Quarterback?
No. I have not because I'm saving it for the flight.
So it's funny. I was excited to watch it because Joe Burrow's in it this year. And I started it last night and just watched like the first 20 minutes. And as much as I love Joe Burrow, I found it depressing to watch because I know where it's headed. Because the Bengals didn't make the playoffs, and it wasn't he had a great season they had a great offense, and he had a great season individually. But I'm just finding the whole thing, I don't know. For whatever reason.
Well, it sucks to watch back like a documentary about something that affected you personally,
right?
In a negative way. It's like
you can't even disappointment.
Now, had the Bengals won the title, you'd have watched this and be like,
of course,
hell yeah, this is so great, this is awesome. Yeah. It sucks that the ending.
It's so funny because I was so excited about it, and then I'm like, I don't want to watch. I don't, Jared Goff is interesting. Kirk Cousins was on the first year. What do I need to know about Kirk Cousins right now?
But the question,
nice guy.
The question I asked for this, so they're following Burrow, Goff, and Cousins. Would you have rather them just and I know for next season, so season 3 of quarterback.
Yeah.
They already picked, I forget who they're doing, but they're following around 3 more quarterbacks.
Yeah.
What do you think would be more interesting, Dustin? Them following around 3 high-level, we did the quarterback tier 2, 3 kind of guys? Or if they followed the Browns quarterback room in 2024? Like just the Browns.
I mean, the answer, obviously, for us is the Browns quarterbacks because it's fascinating, the dynamic of that room. But I do think from like a national standpoint, it would create some buzz because
especially with Shedeur.
With Shedeur is such a
look at who would have watched that?
Oh yeah,
Shout out to Ant, great
nice
graphic.
trailer or promo there.
Yeah,
that's nice. It began yesterday.
I actually think in all of football, not just the Browns, not just the Cleveland, in all of football, the number one storyline right now being covered the most, that has the most random national interest, is what the hell's going on in that room. And it's because Shedeur Sanders has this aura and this draw that's unlike anything I've seen. And Bull, you and Dustin have been doing this longer.
It's just crazy, though, because the Browns are probably going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
I know, but that has more interest to a just generic football audience.
Are you sure about that? Like, what are you basing that on? I don't watch any national sports shows anymore.
In the morning when I do cardio, they have Get Up On at the gym.
Yeah.
But you'd be amazed at how often they talk about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
And
aren't they talking about the Cowboys all the time? And
I don't have the exact break. I don't have this segment.
There's no way those shows do any ratings.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not even saying they're good.
I'm with you. Since I've left the radio show, I don't watch any of those first take shows.
I never watch any of those shows anymore.
They're just on when I do cardio.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you'd be amazed for a team like Cam Ward's. I haven't seen any Cam Ward.
I think this was just a vehicle for you to brag that you do cardio.
I mean, whatever.
Looking good, Mikey.
Sure.
Looking good, buddy.
Thanks. But, like...
I saw you on Instagram with your shirt off. You got some abs.
we do all right.
You're doing all right, buddy.
But I do think this would be way more interesting than following 3 random quarterbacks who, to Bull's point, you know the outcome. We'll obviously know the outcome when this would come out next year. But what if you want to see some of the inner working and discussions of how Stefanski's handling reps, how they're dealing with the Shedeur sideshow?
I think most fans outside of Cleveland, unless they're Shedeur people, would not care at all.
And what do you think? Do you think people – he's not listening.
I'm so sorry. What's up?
Do you think people outside of Cleveland would be interested in the Browns quarterback Netflix special?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they have Browns backers clubs all over the place.
No, but those are Browns fans.
Yeah, but people just nationally
outside of Browns fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
If you're not a Browns fan, why would you care?
Why do you care about Kirk Cousins, though?
I was going to say.
I don't.
That's my point.
I think it's a thing where like people just like documentaries, right? Like, why do you care about Last Chance U?
Well, but
we haven't heard of any of those teams.
No. But the point is compared to Mike's saying compared to what
compared
they're doing
to like
now.
the
I think Joe
show.
Burrow has more cachet amongst neutral fans than the Browns quarterback room. But then again, the Shedeur Sanders thing is such a big story.
I guess
I don't know how big a story it is because I'm not watching any national shows.
This year is such a mess in that quarterback room. People might want to see the train wreck.
People do like to see a disaster.
I kind of think like this would have more national appeal than following 3 guys that you know.
I bet the show will do really well, though. People will watch it. I think I will go back and watch it. I just wasn't feeling it last night.
With the Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some clips where the game they had 8 false starts or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I saw the little snippet from that when he and Zach.
I didn't see it.
Zach Taylor got into it. Do you
Yeah.
remember we saw those clips on the
Oh
sideline?
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I'm curious what you think of that
Yeah.
part when you get to it. And thank you for reminding me I have to download it for my flight.
Yeah. I should watch it. Just I guess I could skip past the. And we've seen Jared Goff before because he was on Hard Knocks. Now has become unwatchable.
They did Jared Goff so dirty in that Hard Knocks. Do you remember that?
What did they
The
do?
one in L.A.?
Well, he was
It's
the
true,
number
he's
one.
been on there twice.
He was the number. Yeah, L.A. when he was the number 1 overall pick with Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
It was when they had the remote camp, right? They were not at their own facility. They were out in some other place.
I just remember them asking him, which way does the sun rise? And he got it wrong. From which east-west does the sun rise? And he got it wrong. And they left it in there. And it was
Right.
that's a tough look for your number
Now
one.
now nobody gets
No,
looks
'cause
bad on Hard
teams
Knocks.
have final approval. Yeah.
They clean it up too much now, but
Well, the show has become so predictable, and
Yeah.
you see this exact same thing. Oh, you got to follow the walk-on kid,
Right,
or
yeah,
the undrafted guy.
Yeah.
And you got to see the cuts. We've seen the cuts.
the cuts. I have no interest in seeing that anymore.
Yeah.
It was interesting if you'd never been through it. The first couple times I saw it, and now it's just sad.
Honestly, back in the day when Hard Knocks started, I think
Yeah.
the first one was in 2000 with the Ravens, I believe.
Bill
Brian
Billick.
Billick. Anyway, so it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
Dude, in 2000 when the show first began, we didn't have this.
Right, all the
we
access
couldn't we
that we
couldn't
have
watch 100,000 shows on Netflix. There's just too many things to
Yeah.
watch now, and it was a really cool thing. It's like when Survivor came out. Reality television was this whole big thing. Well, now there's a million other shows.
Right.
So-
There was the year the Browns were on Hard Knocks, which was 2018.
Yeah.
with Baker, his rookie
Right.
year.
That was good because Hugh Jackson came off
Congratulations, you're the backup.
yeah, that was amazing.
And Bob Wiley.
Bob Wiley was great that year, and then the whole thing where Hugh Jackson got defensive in the meeting room with the assistant coaches with Haley.
I'm driving the bus.
Yeah, it was it made him look terrible.
If they made the quarterback show for the Browns this year, right?
Yeah,
Just hypothetically speaking. You
Yeah.
know how they always have the media montages in and out of weeks and certain social media clips to set
yeah,
up.
sure, right, yeah.
Would G. Bush be on there so often that he got a paycheck from Netflix? Would they use his
Yeah, I don't think
monologues
he'd get a paycheck.
so
but-
often that they'd have to pay him?
No, but he would get on there. He would, but no, I don't think he's getting a paycheck. No,
Would they use more UCSS clips than any other Cleveland outlet?
I don't
If
know
they're
how they
smart.
decide on that stuff. I mean, we would have a lot of clips for them. What'd you say, Anthony?
I said if they're smart.
If they're smart, yeah, that's true. I don't know.
We've been in a couple national things before.
Yeah,
They used us on Fox for Joe Flacco's first start. The Cavs
Right.
have used us a couple times.
I saw this video recently. It had millions of views,
And you were in it, yeah.
and I'm not in it. You don't see me,
Your voice, though.
and the video starts with my voice, and it's about Larry Bird. We were interviewing. I don't remember who it was even, and I asked him for a good Larry Bird trash talk story. And that video starts with me asking that question, and then he tells the story, and it's a bunch of stories of other NBA players telling Larry Bird trash talk stories, and it's got millions of views, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Was it Kareem?
No, it was.
No, it was here.
Oh, it was on this show.
It was.
Yeah. It must have been a
Terrell
noticeable
Brandon?
player. I don't know. I can't remember who the hell it was.
It was one of the old Cavs we've had.
I don't know.
Mark Price?
Maybe
No.
it is Mark Price. We had Mark Price on.
I don't think it
Elo?
was Mark
Craig Elo?
Price, though.
Never had Kirk.
No. It wasn't a white guy. I feel like it was not a white guy.
In that same vein, when Jameis made his first start for the Browns last year,
Yeah.
they did a little montage on the Fox or CBS pregame show,
Right.
and I was not paying attention to it. I was just doing my pregame work.
Yeah.
And I heard my voice, and I was like,
Yeah.
What?
That's funny.
I rewound, and it was a clip from UCSS and me
Yeah.
doing an intro to a topic before we dove in. I was like, oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. They don't tell you they're going to use it.
No.
They
They just take
just use it,
Did
yeah.
they even give you credit, or they put something on the screen?
they didn't for that one because it was just my voice. It wasn't like
That sucks.
clip
They
from the
should do
show.
that.
But they did when they did the Joe Flacco one, and it
Yeah.
was from UCSS. They did
Yeah.
credit UCSS.
They should do credit us anyway, or I mean that's
don't know.
lame. We'd credit them, but whatever. All right, let's get to super chats, Anthony.
All right.